Everybody get up, no need to cram now. We got a real jam going down, going down, going down, going down, going down, going down. Welcome to the IntelliJAMS.
We are back to Jam, and these are some of my favorite ones. We've got an internal jam today. We've got someone from the team joining us. We've got Jerica, who is our PM on our APIs, AI, basically anything you're going to use to kind of like strengthen IntelliGems. And Jerica, so excited to have you on the show. There are a few things I wanted to talk about today, but I think the biggest one is we just recently released our MCP. And I wanted to talk a bit about that and then talk about how this MCP, our APIs, are basically what brands and agencies are doing with these to make their lives easier, more effective. But where I was hoping you could start for people like me, MCP, API, we have both. What's the difference?
Yes. So in plain English, our IntelliGems API, that allows you to like pull your test results data, your analytics, help you manage and create experiences without touching our user interface. But our MCP, it's like a native integration for an AI. So it lets AI tools like Claude just natively talk to IntelliGems. You could do the same thing with an MCP and an API, but if you're trying to use an API with an AI, you have to copy in your API key, you have to share your API docs, it can guess how to configure the API payload, and it could be wrong. So it's really the difference of like Claude reading instructions for how to use a tool versus Claude actually having the tool in its hand.
That was a great explanation. That was super succinct. Thank you. Okay, so API versus MCP. We have the MCP so that we can have that tighter integration into Claude, make it easier, or any AI tool to make things easier. How have you seen people use this so far? So we have this MCP. It's been out for a bit now. What are kind of like some of the cool ways you're seeing brands, agencies, users of IntelliGems get the most out of it?
So I think it kind of comes down to everyone really just uses our MCP to, one, accelerate deep thinking tasks, and two, get rid of like data entry, data lookup tasks. So most common thing to use with our MCP is for analysis. So kind of reducing the time it takes from like test has enough data to I actually know what I need to physically do next based upon the test results. So analysis is huge with the MCP, but I'm also seeing people kind of take it a step further. Something really cool I've heard someone do is kind of create an AI debate club where you have one AI, maybe we'll say Claude, and that's going to be pro, like variant is the winner. And then you have like a different AI, and maybe it's a different chat with Claude, or maybe it's Gemini or whatever, and you have that one be pro, control is the winner. And you share both results and you have them kind of like talk to each other and give reasons why X is the outcome versus Y is the outcome, and kind of get that really good like back and forth to like uncover insights.
Debate club is fantastic. So I actually, there is a test where one of our brands and I were like debating with each other, and it would have been very interesting to run this experiment and see the winner, because he had a free shipping threshold test and he had it at 100, went to 125, went to 75, and both the 125 and the 75 beat the control. And then we were like, okay, which one of these ones do we want to roll with? And having that kind of like, hey, let's let these AIs debate this instead of like him and I going back and forth. We have some like preconceived notions of what has worked in the past, blah, 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 blah. Like we have, I don't know, potential flaws in our thinking that could have been better served by this. I love that.
Well, and I think that's really smart, because often with like A/B tests, like there's always something nuanced about it. There's always like something that's not like crystal clear, like maybe a segment performed very well. Like there's always something unique about it to like pull out. But it's also like AIs and like an MCP and Claude, they're not meant to like fully take away and get rid of like these conversations that we're having. It's just to accelerate them. Like we should still be having those same conversations and same debates, but like before we have that debate, let's like have the AI simulate that debate, and then we can use that as a baseline.
Yeah, or like augment it. Hey, here's some talking points. Like here was like the biggest points of differentiation. Like let's talk about that more. 1000% agree. And hard +1 on the, hey, maybe this was a winner in these segments or was a winner on this channel, but hey, even though this was a loser, maybe there is some value here to use this in a returning customer channel like email or SMS. So like just because something won doesn't mean it is the best answer to every question. It was just the best answer to that particular question for that particular group of people.
100%.
I think like, so the debate club, you said there was 2 other ways that people are using this. So you said, hey, the data lookup tasks and then the decision acceleration as well. So how have you been seeing brands kind of tie into those things? Is the data lookup like, hey, I want the blue bars of IntelliGems in places where I'm comparing it with like data from other things that I can't connect yet? Like, is that what the dashboarding starts to look like?
100%. So, a lot of ways I'm seeing people more use like our API, but then sometimes pulling in like the AI to like create like summaries of it is with dashboarding. So that's the most common reason why people ask for API access is they want to create their own reporting or dashboarding tool. Oftentimes agencies love to create like a multi-client dashboard. So instead of logging into each individual IntelliGems account for their clients, one view shows all active tests across all clients and just high-level metrics. So a lot of dashboarding is often used for this. And we also see a lot of like alerting. So kind of 2 flavors of this. One, we see like a proactive health check. Like for brands, it's kind of scary to launch an A/B test because like you're like, did I do that right? Did I set that up right? Did I just publish something that's going to break my website and lose me all day's worth of revenue? So having some sort of like proactive health check of my test to say, no, I did set this up right. Visitors are being seen, conversions are coming through, gives that peace of mind. And then we also see like a different flavor of it of catching things when they are broken. So if a test is live for X amount of time and we have X amount of traffic and it's below this threshold, or the conversion rate drops, or the minimum orders per variant is too low, then just give me an alert that something is wrong, because that is the signal that I probably set up something wrong in this test.
So basically proactive and reactive. Hey, something's looking fishy here. On the alerting side, do you see people using the API to let them know when something has reached some point? Like it could be stat sig, it could be like, hey, I was looking for this number of orders, like something to let me know like, hey, things are ready for me to go actually run the analysis on, or like, hey, it's time we have enough here to go make decisions.
Yes. So alerts based upon, sometimes it's stat sig, but it's typically like a combination of metrics of like, it's been running for this number of days, it has this number of orders per variant, and at least one thing is hitting more than 90% probability to be the best. Give me an alert so that way I know it's ready. But we also see different like time periods of like key lifecycle events for a test. So when a test has been live for 7 days, like I just want to check in on that test and see how it's doing, and maybe also if you're an agency, give my client an update. So on like lifecycle events every 7 days, every 14 days, give me an update of how this test is doing.
That's interesting. You could do it on days, you could do it on orders, like, hey, something has happened here where like this has reached a point where I want to go look into it. And like looking into it could be, hey, I don't plan on doing anything with this. I just want to know, where are we at this point? Like, hey, this has reached 7 days, go in and look. Probability to be best is like 50-50. So this is still a coin flip. Like this hasn't ran long enough for me to like draw any conclusions for it. Or sometimes we have people who will take a look at things early and be like, oh, this has hit 80% probability to be the winner. I don't need to be super sure about like how certain the difference is. I just know that this is the winner, and like, hey, I'm going to call that early because I want to move on to the next test. So like helps you either be like, get that statistical rigor, or potentially, hey, if it doesn't need that, can I move on to the next thing?
Yeah, 100%. And giving you an indication of I need to take an action, and also an indication of easing that anxiety of like, a test is live, is everything okay?
There's been a bunch of jokes in the past about having some sort of A/B testing therapist because of the anxiety that can happen. The anxiety of did this work, but also to like someone to talk you off the, hey, I'm a genius when I launch something and it's like the first 2 days of it and one of them's just like blowing the other one out of the water. It's like, I'm a genius. I'm going to go do like, I'm going to be a millionaire off of this, and just having, if it's not that, we don't need the therapist anymore because we have the APIs and the MCP to help with this. We're like, hey, don't check on this till day 7. When we get to day 7 or we get to this order volume, okay, we can go make like a little bit more of an informed decision then. Hey, this is looking great out of the gate. I must be a genius. Or on the reverse, hey, this is looking terrible out of the gate. I must be an idiot. Neither of those things are true. Just give it enough time to like
Yes.
actually see what's happening.
Yes. And also another type of, that makes me think of another type of alert, which is of like something's doing really, really, really well. So it's been X number of time, we have X amount of data, and one variant is doing so well that I don't need to like continue it running more than the 7 days. So that's another type of alert.
I love it. So if I had to summarize kind of the value of these, it's more or less like, hey, integrate what you're learning into the places where you want to view those. Obviously, like the IntelliGems dashboards are great. I love the blue bars. I love when people are talking about the blue bars. But getting this information into a place where you are actively going to be making decisions on it and you feel like you have enough information to make the best decision possible. That's one of like the big reasons to use this. And then the other on like the alerting side and like reducing that anxiety, like there's a lot that can be done here to just make sure that you're building the rigor in your testing program. And like those alerts can be used not only for yourself, but for other people who are involved and just want to make sure like, hey, progress is happening, or hey, when something big happens, notify from an agency side, a client, or from a brand side, it could be my boss or my boss's boss, just to make sure that people know that there is momentum here.
Yes, 100%. And kind of on that idea of like getting all this data to where you're going to make decisions, kind of like an emerging trend that I'm starting to see. Like not everyone's doing it. It's probably going to be really hard for people to do right now, but I think it'll get really easier over time. Is I'm seeing this like emerging trend of having internal AI agents. So brands having their own like internal custom AI agent that has way more context than what you log into Claude today and it would have. So this is like, for example, you maybe you build like a data lab or a data lake or a data warehouse, and you have all of your Shopify data. You can now pull in your IntelliGems data, but you also have your GA4 data and your recharge data and your metadata. And then you have like this internal AI agent that can like query across all this data sets. And then the recommendations it can provide are so much more informed.
I like that too. It's like making sure that I'm trying to be careful on how I say this. E-commerce, D2C is interesting because like there are so many apps, so many tools, information lives in so many different places, whether like you were saying, Shopify, Recharge, Meta, TikTok, like there's all these different places where information that can help me make the best decision possible lives. And the ability to create something where it's pulling all that information to make the best. You're going to be careful about what I say there too, to augment making the best decision, because we don't want it to just, for some things, make the decision for you, but making sure that you have all the information you need to make the most informed decision possible.
Yeah, a big like barrier for like why people don't like build data warehouses is like once you have that data, like it's really complex for you, a human, to like draw out that insight. But if we can layer on a really well-informed AI with a really good prompt, you can really pull some strong insights out of that. So it makes that easier.
Love it. All right, Jerica, this has been amazing. To wrap up, if you're not a user of IntelliGems and want to learn more of this, go to IntelliGems.io and grab a demo with us. If you are an existing customer, Jerica, what should someone do to get started with this?
I would say easiest way to get started is to connect whatever AI tool you use. If you use Claude, if you use Gemini or ChatGPT, just connect your IntelliGems MCP to that software. Typically how that works is you're in Claude or whatever software, you go to connections, you hit add custom connections. We have a specific MCP URL you input, you hit save, you OAuth through IntelliGems, and now you can suddenly access all your IntelliGems data via the AI.
Easy peasy. If you're an existing customer, get connected to the MCP and start making more informed decisions with that. Jerica, thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Thanks for having me.